All right, well, I'm super excited to be here, man. Borgeson's.
No, it's super exciting. We're gonna meet here with Jeff and Alan from Borgeson, and they make power steering components and steering components for all kinds of cars.
Yeah.
They've been a longtime customer of ours. We met Jeff at a trade show at the SEMA show last year, and he's just an awesome guy. And really excited to show you like what all the things that they do here. So Borgeson's based out of South Carolina, and they've been gracious enough to allow us to come and take some awesome video of their facility. Had some great conversation with these two guys, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think X-Card, as we've been so focused on the automotive industry, I think we would love to work with more companies like this. And so, and I'm excited just from a business owner and from a manufacturing standpoint, just really excited just to see their operation and talk business with them. And it's going to be kind of like a field trip.
Yeah, it is. It is really like a field trip. So we don't get together that often. We live on the other sides of the opposite sides of the country. And so it's fun for us just to be together. But also to sort of like your idea of being on a field trip and going to do this. Like it's fun to go visit other places, especially businesses that you admire and are really curious about. So
yeah, I mean, if anyone's watching this and you've got a really cool business and you want to tell your story, please let us know. Like, we'd love to visit more automotive businesses. We'd love to check you guys out. We'd love to see your operations, ask you questions. I just think that it's exciting. It's fun to learn about, and there's a lot of people out there would love to hear your story.
This is it. This is our manufacturing facility. Okay. This is the production area.
There's 4 big machines here. They're facing with the tubes on the end. These are bar feeders where we make all of our universal joints.
This stock is going right into the bar feeder here. You can lean over and see it in there, or he'll open it.
Oh, awesome.
So we can load multiple bars here.
So it'll pull.
And it loads one at a time into it.
Okay.
Feeds it into the machine. This tube is basically an oil bath, so it supports the bar. Because you have a 12-foot bar and you're spinning at 3,000 RPM.
Yeah.
So that actually supports it.
Yeah.
That's what comes out the other end.
That is so impressive, man.
From a bar of steel, it sits there and makes those parts all day long, and after we shut the lights off, all night long.
Yeah.
We don't run a second shift, but these machines, all 4 of them here, are capable of running all day.
12-foot pole and
crank out.
Yeah.
And that's actually what got delivered this morning. Is we buy it direct from the steel mill now. So this one's doing just a coupler for a BJ right now. You can see here's your main bar. It's coming through the machine. It's already machined the first half, transferred to a sub spindle, machined the back side of it. And I believe it's just getting ready to spit the part out.
So it's going to do that initial cut first, because then it separates it out.
Right.
So that your multi-tool can...
Yep. Okay. And then it comes back. You can see, like here, we have a tool for the main spindle and a separate tool for the sub spindle. Tool for the sub spindle, but the cutters, they can go on, the mill cutters can go on either side of it.
That is so cool. Now this is going to be one of those ones where you can actually rotate that.
Correct.
That
one has 6 edges on it.
Okay.
As opposed to, like, this is a spade drill. So it has, it's one edge on it. We get swapped out.
So, and there's some kind of timer where the machine will stop and wait for a rotation to happen, and that's the manual element of it's needed to be done.
And then the machine, we can set how much tool life is used by each tool.
By each tool, yeah.
So depending on the tool, some tools will change every day, some tools are every couple of days. So you can monitor your tool life and you look at it. And what we try to teach people is, okay, if you have 2 hours of tool life left, and at the end of the day, change the tool. the cost of the tool is minimal compared to running the machine all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I imagine it's got to finish that face first while it's still on the spindle.
Yep.
And then once that face is finished, then it cuts it, moves it over to the other side,
Well,
and
once,
then finishes this face, right?
again, for this part, it does this. It's this piece here.
It's gonna cut it
So
first.
it's going to do all the machining it can through the holes, all that on this side before it actually cuts it off. Then it'll come over, cut it off, pull it back, and put the back chamfer on, the countersink on.
Are both those spindles holding the part when it cuts it off?
Yes.
Okay, so the one
they're
comes in,
synchronized.
holds it. They're synchronized, both spinning. So when it cuts through, only one is holding the part.
Very cool.
So you said you get one new machine a year, so you're cycling these?
No, we haven't gotten rid of any yet.
Oh, okay.
We just keep adding.
Well, someone's got to pay for that F1 car, so.
And it's going to come in, and the part will spit out right here. And now it's just started automatically on the next part.
And then it looks like it's cooling it off there.
Yep, it sprays coolant on there.
Oh man, that's amazing how fast it works.
We make chips really well.
It's amazing how fast that is, cutting through
And yeah,
solid steel, huh?
and necessity being the birth of invention. So because we run a bar feeder and we get so many parts, we had to put these bins in so we catch the parts. But the bins, I mean, you saw how much coolant comes out while you're running it. It comes out. So what we've done is we built a pan with a float switch. So when the pan fills up with coolant, it pumps the coolant back into the machine.
So it just drips out the bottom of here, I guess, right? Yeah,
Yep.
It's dripping out kind of constantly, so.
Now, what do you do with all your shavings? Is there a recycling process, or?
It's all recycled. We have a scrap company that comes and picks it up.
Okay.
You'll see at the end here, each machine's got
You got.
got a scrap bin at the end of each machine.
Yeah.
We do keep stainless and brass separate from the steel because, well, it pays better as scrap.
for sure. Wow.
But yeah, we turn metal bars into little things of shavings and money. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of
It's
shavings.
about as close to printing money as you can get, right?
I mean, this
And
day and age,
It's
yeah.
about a little over 60% scrap rate.
Okay.
So when we start with the bar, 60% of that weight is made into chips that basically just get recycled.
What's your cycle time per unit?
On this machine, it's about 4.5 minutes.
Okay. That's impressive. The one machine
It's milling that
does
down.
all your drilling, all your cutting.
Yep. The less you can have hands touch the part, the better it is.
Now, I imagine you probably go through some kind of bits or something.
Every day
Quite
we're
a
changing
bit.
tooling.
It's a daily thing.
Daily thing.
Wow, okay. So do your cycle times, are they shorter in the beginning than by the end of the day?
No,
No dullness?
no. Usually what we do is we do new tooling right at the end of the day before we leave.
Okay.
That way, well, we're not here for 14 hours.
It's still running.
It has all new tooling. And then during the day, if there's any fluctuations, we're here, we're checking the parts anyways to make sure we don't have a problem.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, change out the tooling as needed.
Yeah, your automation level's beyond impressive. To be able to pump out that many parts on this many machines with only 25 people.
What was the employee count way back in the day when this was
Are
all
you
done
looking
manual?
for investors? Do you need investors?
We peaked out at 55 employees when we were probably 1/10 of the size we are right now.
Yeah, in like sales volume.
And sales volume.
Yeah.
And that's
we had
because it was
55
all,
employees.
all
You guys are
manual
running so
machining.
This was all
That is
manual,
so
people
impressive.
cutting it, passing it to somebody else. Yeah.
Correct. So we've continuously automating and doing more stuff in-house.
So, I mean, we're not going to limit ourselves by our production capabilities. We'll grow the production.
Sales come, you figure out a way to make it.
Exactly, We've never had to run a second shift. We always could if we needed to, but I mean, these machines are the second shift.
Yeah,
And even robots like this one over here, you'll see in a little bit, that is the second shift too.
yeah.
It's got a fixture table full of parts. It just picks them up and machines them.
So that was the whole truckload.
That's a truckload. That's a truckload of steel right there.
That's one truckload of steel.
That's 50,000 pounds.
Yep.
So do you
25
start with the
tons
same diameter
steel.
stock on everything?
Not every product we do, but the universal joint yokes, it's the same diameter stock, and that's our highest volume. I mean, behind you is like a double D shaft, round shaft with 2 flat sides we use to make our telescopic shafts and things
This
like
was
that.
a separate truckload then.
That was a separate truckload. The crates
over
over
there
there
is a
was a
separate
separate truckload. That pile of steel over there was a separate truckload.
Not too many industries have to justify a truckload based on weight instead of volume.
Well, we never did that, but the whole pandemic supply chain thing, stuff started to get sketchy, so we really upped our purchase amounts, and we haven't lowered it.
Just
We
max
don't
it
have
out,
a
yeah.
reason to lower it. We're going to use the material.
And we can get buying direct from the steel mill. We can get better pricing. So then the best price you can get is load a truck.
Yeah.
You're going to pay pretty much the same amount for that truck
As two
if it's got
trucks.
10,000 pounds or 50,000 pounds. So let's divide it up over 50,000
You've
pounds.
just maximized your efficiency there.
And like Jeff said, we're going to use it. It's not like it's going to be here for years.
Not even like
Well, and
take
it
up that
doesn't go
much
bad. It
space
doesn't have
either.
a shelf life.
Right.
There's so many things that are beautiful about this business model that I'm getting jealous, man. So
There's a lot of automation that we've done with it. The worm shafts, again, we start on the big machines over there, start with 12-foot bars.
And it cuts this part down.
Yep, we do the cut down here, do the spline on it, the groove. The only thing we don't do is this thread. We could do it, but I think Jeff
Yeah,
just
well,
brought
Jeff
you
just
over
showed me that
there.
one. So it cuts that whole thing at once, George. There's like a big die basically that cuts all those at once,
really,
and
Yep.
it turns it.
It drops down,
synchronized with the
runs
tool.
around it, then comes back up. So to cut that groove, start to start is about a minute.
gosh, I just love that everything's a solid unit.
Yeah. Well, it's steering. You want a good solid connection in that.
You don't want that.
Well, and
bending on you,
I know
man.
you guys are actually, you've got some columns and steering shafts that are actually very well thought out in case of like a head-on collision,
Collapsible stuff.
right? Because you don't want a solid metal
Nope.
rod going into the driver's seat.
Generally
so you've got
not a good idea.
collapsible and
Yep.
everything else. So
That machine at the end there was 1 truckload, the one all the way against the wall, and it was
Yeah.
an overweight truckload.
yeah,
And what that does is cuts those teeth in that block, and that's all it does right there is cut
Oh,
those
okay.
teeth.
And again, there's other ways you can do it, and you can do it on the CNC. There's plenty of stuff. But when that machine is running, you actually get a part off the machine every 15 seconds.
so fast. Huh?
that is insane
So-
Your operator has to pay attention
metal?
because he's got to unload and reload.
for steel.
We
to
can
do
walk
that.
over there if you want to see how it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show anything you guys want to show us, man.
Just don't bump into anything around here, that's all. So this is a giant tunnel broach. The cutting tool runs from here down to here on top. That's the cutting tool itself.
Wow. Okay.
The employee literally stands here and puts the block in. It clamps as it goes up, it hits a trip, it clamps the part, brings it all the way through, cuts it, brings it all the way back to the same station. So you're unloading one, loading another, unloading one, loading another.
Every 15 seconds.
Yep.
And it will travel the full width of that and back.
Oh yeah. Yep, there's multiple
length.
there's multiple cutting heads. You see,
So this is all chain driven. Oh my gosh, look at those links, man. That is
so
crazy.
you got to be a pretty quick operator because you're
Is that the
loading.
buffest chain you've ever seen in your life?
Then you're taking one out when this comes around. Actually, that station's dead, but we don't
Wow.
need them all. So you load and unload on each station that comes around.
Yeah. Wow, that's so impressive.
You'll hear it, that station, you'll hear it click when it's locking it in and clamping it. I clamp the part in there, and it unclamps it right here at this. You see that bar coming along, unclamps it so you can take it out.
That's so cool.
And that's why we don't have to run it that often, because it's just so darn efficient, can make so much of that in one day. Little back up at the
Beautiful
tumbling
metal everywhere you look.
Yokes and yokes and yokes.
Little back up at the tumbling
So-
room.
Alan, do you do most of the product development then? Are you overseeing that?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are obviously clearly super busy with everything your current SKU count of 1,208, I think
Yep.
Jeff said. Like,
You're either growing or shrinking.
How much are you worried about new product development? Is that a big part of your time?
Customers take care of it. Customers let us know what
they
to do.
request?
What they keep asking for is what we look to try to do.
And then I harp on him enough until it gets made.
Yeah. I love it. So is this Fred? Or
This
Ethel?
is Fred. Fred's going to load and unload the machine when it's done running. You can see
Oh,
on
okay.
the bottom jaw, Fred's got a part in its hands.
Uh-huh.
It's going to,
ready to load
when
that.
the door opens, it's going to take the one part out and load the other part.
Yeah. Now, what speed do you have? Is it 100% speed at this point, or
The
what?
robot? No.
Yeah. Because I've seen these guys book. So that's before and after.
Before and after.
So
The
this
raw
is cast.
Yep, casting that we buy.
Yeah. And this is what this
And
machine's
that's what's
doing.
completely machining it.
So with all of where you're using it for loading, what was the decision process to select this part and this process specifically? Because you could put Fred on just about any of these machines,
Correct.
couldn't you?
We sell 15,000 of these a year.
Of those, okay.
So I figured it out. We had an employee running this job for almost 2 weeks a year, or 2 weeks a month, every month.
Every month, okay.
So by eliminating and going to a robot, there's an employee that for 2 weeks a month that I just gained.
Yeah.
And that's just the one job. It's a capable, it does other jobs.
What is this part?
It's a steering box side of a rag joint connector.
Okay.
I can show you when we're done watching it do its magic here. But it's got that whole fixture table full of parts it's going to go through and finish before any human needs to intervene and reload that table.
Yeah. I love it. Come here, Brad. So I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, is that a dryer?
Fan.
It literally just it spins and just blows it off at the
Yep.
end?
When
love
it
it.
turns on, because these are all spring loaded.
So when it rotates fast
So,
enough,
once it starts spinning, that opens up and it's a fan. So you blow your part off
Yeah,
and then you can transfer it.
I love it.
So this machine runs shafting similar to this.
Okay.
So the fixture is made where we can load this entire rack.
Okay.
So it comes over with the grippers, grabs each one, hooks it up, goes into the machine. We hold it in the center of the shaft, which is why there's two vices. They're pneumatic over hydraulic.
Uh-huh.
So we have hydraulic clamping, so it'll clamp the part, does all the machining, and then when it's done, it grabs another part and it's waiting for it. So when the machine's done, it goes in, it picks this one up, moves over, puts the other one in, and then comes out. So that way the machine is always running.
Yeah.
And then once it comes out, the door closes, the machine can start running, and this does its job of putting the part down, getting its next part ready.
Now this looks like one of the relatively new machine compared
This
to
is.
some. This is a newer.
Yeah, this one we bought last year.
Okay. That's so cool.
And we have the running joke with the local Haas factory outlet that this is the very first cobot they ever got, which is a Haas manufactured robot.
Uh-huh.
That one is the very first Fanuc robot they ever got.
Uh-huh.
So they're like, okay, when we get first, we got to call you.
you guys figure it out. The whole assembly area. This workstation here is the truck shaft assembly area. You'll see, that's one of the vibration reducing joints we do with the urethane, standard U joint, and the telescopic shaft that he showed you down there that we machine. This particular shaft is for a 95 to 02 Dodge Ram.
Okay.
And that's a finished product of this point, ready to go out, get packaged, go to the customer.
Yeah.
The individual U joints are put together on these presses right here. You see Debbie's got the
Gosh, I mean we've seen just about every part of that through this process.
Yeah. She's putting together the U joints right now from the individual yokes that we showed you earlier. There's different fixtures for each part of the job. Then the press automatically comes down, puts the bearings in.
This is all assembly,
This
but you
is
got different
truck shaft
stations for
and
different
U-joint.
different
Yep.
parts, right?
So yeah, the U-joint press is the main, the heart here. So everything behind the U-joint press is all inventory for yokes for universal joints.
So
stuff's
between every
constantly-
cycle, it looks like she's putting a little bit of that grease in there.
Yep, the grease is actually holding the bearing in place.
Oh, okay.
You know, we have our unassembled inventory. They're assembling, it goes through, gets marked, gets set screws. We do all of our packaging. We carry a lot of U-joint inventory or rotating inventory on the shelves here, stuff that's waiting pre-packaged. So we keep roughly a week's worth of stuff packaged. We try, it's a rotating number, but a month's worth.
Those are all those truck shafts packed up, ready to go. So the shipper puts everything on the belt. The belt brings it right by the window there, where the girl on the other side will pull the paper, do the invoicing, move it on down the line.
That was a lot of fun talking to Alan and Jeff. Awesome guys.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing this for a super long time. Know exactly what it is. Like, just some of the stuff they're doing, they're just taking these, steel rods and making them into this kind of stuff. It's amazing. All the machinery and automation that they have there. It's super cool.
I was so impressed with how vertically integrated they are. Like, they go all the way from raw product, and they just have manufactured 12,000 different parts out of raw materials and are direct to consumer in a lot of their operations. So just such an impressive business outside of just being cool.
And they've got such a great team here. Like, everybody knows exactly what they're doing. They've got such great processes built in there. So like, they know exactly how to build parts, and all the stuff that they have there is a very well oiled machine, I would say.
Yeah. No pun intended, right? So anyway, a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Jeff and Alan. If you're watching this, we really appreciate you guys. Borgeson is such an incredible company. What I like to call a little giant based off that book. Small company, but just so refined and so amazing in their processes, their structure, how they do business. A great example in many ways. I took a ton from it that I want to apply to some of my own business endeavors.
Yeah. Thanks. It's been great being able to be here. We spent a couple hours with them overall on a beautiful day. So it's really great. They treated us to ice cream and stuff at the end of their day. We got to hang out in their break room for a little bit. So super fun. And like I said, if you have an automotive company, if you manufacture stuff, we'd love to come and do some more of this too. So let us know in the comments or direct messages. You can find us on our contact us page on our website if you would like a video like this for your automotive company.
Yeah, please reach out. And if you enjoyed watching this video today, please like, subscribe, do all the following so that, hopefully we have a lot more opportunities to do these types of things.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
okay.